Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing well. This is Radhika here again, and this video is going to be about how some people find grace or divine timing or a great divine connection after narcissistic abuse. So first of all, happy Diwali to everyone who celebrates it or who even to those who don't celebrate it. I wish you all a very happy Diwali and a prosperous new year ahead. So I thought today is a great day to kind of bring this topic out there because that's what Diwali signifies. It signifies the triumph of good over evil and the spreading of light, and light is clarity. Light gives you clarity, and knowledge also gives you clarity. So it basically signifies um, choosing light over darkness, even when you know that darkness is a part of each one of us. Each one of us has a shadow aspect. We have qualities in us which are not good for some people around us, because there will always be a part of you which is a shadow to someone else in your life. And that's okay, but you always have to choose to be the light yourself. um, so yeah, I think that's what this signifies, that you cannot actually please everyone, but you always go on choosing the light and go on choosing the right thing with clarity for yourself, for you to do. So yeah, I thought this is a good topic to bring out today on the day of Diwali. And so, how do some people do this? Even when they are scapegoated, even when they are the one who has been, so to say, victimized or sidelined in a bad situation, how do they turn it into a good one for them? So, first of all, I just want to give a quick disclaimer. If this is the first video or one of the first videos that you're watching on NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, you probably won't be um, like, this video won't be very helpful to you unless you're like some superhuman, forgiving, Jesus like person who can really get it in the first go. But if this is something that you're watching in the beginning of your recovery journey, it probably is not going to help you, because you might still have a lot of anger and repressed emotions inside you, which you would want to first purge before you come to this stage. um, so yeah, so I would say, like, this is how I see the recovery journey of a person who has been through this situation. So in the beginning, you understand about NPD, then you gather all the information that you can about the topic, then you go to the analysis phase where you analyze everything, then you go to the acceptance phase where you accept, okay, this is what is happening with me, and then is the solution phase where you're trying to find solutions. And in the solution phase, there's a quite a long phase where all these repressed emotions keep coming up, like feelings of resentment or anger or just irritation or denial sometimes, that I don't want to do this, or just an urge to run away from the situation. So all of these things will come up. And then after all that has happened, after you have made the decision whether you want to stay in the situation or you want to leave the situation, or what can you do about the situation, after all of that, this phase comes where you actually want to transmute this experience into something positive, into something that helps you instead of something that blocks you. So that, if you find yourself in that phase, then this video would be helpful to you. If you are not in that phase, then this video can actually trigger you. So I'm just giving a trigger warning to any people who are still in the in different stages, not in the stage where they have just accepted everything and now they are just focusing on themselves. So if you are in that stage, then this is for you. If you're not in that stage, then just a quick disclaimer, this might not be for you. um, so yeah, so how do you do this? So you do this through a process called as transmutation. It's also called as alchemy. So basically what transmutation is, you take a thing and you transform it into a completely different thing, right? And alchemy is the same, but it's like more in the metal what do you say, context. So alchemy is when, like yogis in the previous generations, they tried to convert lead to gold, and like one semi precious metal to a more precious metal, kind of a process, that was called as alchemy. So it was a chemical process. Similarly, transmutation is also same. You transmute the form, right? You change one thing into another thing. So in this situation, the transmutation or the alchemy is of a person who has been marginalized or sidelined in a narcissistic situation. They take in all these negative emotions that have been projected on them by maybe a person or maybe a narcissistic clan, a whole family of narcissistic people. If you take all of those emotions and you convert them by your own biochemical processes that are happening in your body, by your mind, by your spirit, by your heart, by your entire energy magnetic field, when you change it into something greater than what was given to you, that's what is called as transmutation. So, say a lot of emotions were projected on you of shame, guilt, you are not good enough, you don't fit in, like something is wrong with you, those kind of emotions. You took them, you went on YouTube, you went on the internet, you understood what is happening in this situation, what is happening to me. You were vulnerable, you asked for help. Maybe you went counseling, you emailed people, you reached out to other people in the same situation, you read through comments. So through doing all of that, through gathering tips on how to better your life, if you have managed to change these emotions that were projected on you to better emotions, of understanding, of analyzing. So, using your heart, using your head, if you actually understood the whole situation, if you realized why is this happening, if you went one generation back and understood, oh, this is what happened, this is what their parents did to them, and that's why this person behaves in so and so way. And if you were able to do all of that, and you were able to still be positive, still be vulnerable, still be pure in your heart, then you have done that. You have done transmutation, you have done alchemy. So you have, in a way, changed all of these negative emotions that were put on you into positive emotions of understanding, of self love, of realizing boundaries, of realizing the concept of projection, where what people feel inside them, maybe they have put it in their shadow and now they are shadow projecting on a person in front of them who shows them that quality in, when they see that quality in another person. So if you have actually done all this process, you have in a way found a formula. It's like a chemical reaction, and it's like, if you have done it once, now your brain has like created that pathway to do it the second time, the third time, and the more times you do it, the quicker you can alchemize or transmute negative emotions. So anytime someone projects something on you, someone says something to you which you find the energy of shame or guilt coming from it, you can quickly go back to your previous solution which you have, and you can translate this shame into self love. You can say, okay, you said that to me, but it doesn't matter, because what I am focused on is on my well-being, on my good emotions, and now I have coping mechanisms or ways to transmute, so to speak. And with that, what you do is you change hatred into love, you change darkness into light. Okay, so that's basically what the process of transmutation is. And it takes some time to get here, because in the beginning there's a lot of anger. When someone projects something on you, it triggers you and you get angry. So your instinctive reaction is deflection. You want to deflect it, you want to say, no, you are wrong, because this is not the way it is, and you want to explain it, you want to make yourself heard. So it's okay, even all of that phases are fine. But this is a phase which is beyond that, because after a point you will realize that people will always understand you from their level of consciousness. They cannot understand you from no two people are similar. So it is going to be extremely difficult for you to get your point across to someone who just doesn't see things from your point of view. So after you understand that, you realize that instead of wasting my energy and efforts in trying to make this person understand, what I should do is I should immediately start taking myself to a better place rather than explain this person, because that's not going to help you. You can um, they might understand you today, but tomorrow again they might not. So it's better to always focus on yourself rather than other people, because that's just the smarter thing to do. So yeah, so basically, a practical way to do this, to transmute negative emotions into better emotions, if you want to do it on a consistent basis, and you want to have success every time, then you actually have to do it, you have to practice it every day. And the two things that you can do to do this are, the first thing is a little bit simpler than the second one. So the first thing is gratitude. So the more grateful you are for the good things in your life, the more your focus shifts from the negative things in your life. So just experiment with this for 1 hour. Just complain about all the bad things in your life and see how you feel at the end of that hour. And then take a break, maybe take a 5 hour break. And then after 5 hours, for 1 hour, talk about all the good things in your life. And after that hour of talking about the good things, see how you feel. And there's going to be like a complete difference in the way your body feels after the first hour of complaining, and then after the second hour of being grateful for things. So your body will be so much at ease, it will feel expanded. Your aura will feel so much lighter and clearer after you have spoken about the things that you're grateful for. And similarly, after you have complained for an hour, your body will just feel very constricted. You will feel very tight in your heart, and in your entire body you will feel very heavy. The energy that you carry will feel heavy. So if you do this, you will realize the power of gratitude. And you are the same person. It's one person who was talking about all the bad things, and the same person talking about all the good things. So everything is present in your life. It just depends where you give the attention to. So I'm not saying when you're grateful for something, you are completely ignoring the bad things in your life. That's not the point. We don't just ignore or deny the bad things. You have to see them as they are. We have to see the world as it is. It is good and it is bad. So but what we do is we shift our focus to the good things. And when you do this day in and day out, when you feel good about the good things in your life, you don't have to feel good about the bad things in your life. What this does is it just trains your brain to look at the positive, and so I'm not saying you have to deny, you have to like gaslight yourself into thinking that a bad situation is a good situation. No, when it's a bad situation, you see it as a bad situation, but you don't completely get engulfed in it, because you have trained your brain to see the good things as well. And it's very, I find it very hard to believe that there could be someone who has nothing good in their life. If you're breathing, that's a good thing. You have air to breathe, that's a good thing. So there is always something that you can find to be happy about. I'm not saying there's not bad things in your life, there are, but it's just a concept of also focusing on the good along with the bad. Because a lot of times when we are in narcissistic situations, we just get addicted to drama, and we get addicted to looking at the bad things and analyzing them and judging them and talking about them and researching them. So that's all fine, because something bad is happening with you. So it's great if you understand more about it. But at the same time, you look at the good things in your life, because I'm sure there are some good things in your life. So that's the first practice, which is gratitude. And the second practice is a little bit difficult, but it's called forgiveness. So, forgiveness does not mean telling the NPD person or the NPD clan or the flying monkeys that what they did was okay. No, it doesn't mean that. What forgiveness means is that you understand that these people who did these things to you are not capable of doing anything better than what they did. It's just gaining that clarity that some people just will operate from a lower level of consciousness, and being okay with that, and saying that okay, this happened to me, that was not okay what happened, but now I'm letting it go. So the process of letting it go makes you free. It doesn't free them. They have done their deeds, and their karma, their karam will actually catch up with them. But what this does is it frees you from this karmic cycle. So as soon as you let go, you will stop seeing this pattern being repeated in your life. And that's why forgiveness is so important. And a lot of time when a person who has suffered as the scapegoat, or the marginalized person in the NPD situation, it's very difficult to even listen to this word forgiveness, because a part of the ego is so bent on taking revenge or on getting even or on seeing them suffer, that this word forgiveness is very triggering to that part of the ego. So it's very important to tell this ego that, listen, forgiveness doesn't mean that we are saying that it's okay what you did. It's just understanding that I don't want to be trapped in this karmic cycle that you have going. I forgive you. Whatever happens to you is up to you now. So that's what it means. Till the time you hold a grudge against a person who has treated you badly, you are actually stuck in a loop with them. So it's very difficult, but you have to understand that you don't want to be stuck in that loop. And some people are so bent on taking revenge that they don't even mind being stuck in that loop, because they just want revenge. And that's really sad, because that means the NPD person has actually transmitted to you a lot of bad emotions, and you have actually held on to it, and you have formed an ego around it of revenge, of avenging something, etc. So that almost never works, because in the end you might just realize that you are becoming more NPD, more narcissistic or egoistic than you want to be. So that's something that people need to watch out for. Yeah, and so these are the two emotions, or these are the two practices through which you can actually transmute your emotions from a lower state to a higher state. And a lot of times what happens is, when you do this, you have actually so in the realm of the chakra, or if in the context of the chakras, you have actually helped your energy flow up from the Manipur chakra, from the Anahat chakra. A lot of times it reaches the throat chakra, and from the throat chakra onwards, it actually starts ascending into other realms. And when that happens, you suddenly connect to a lot of spiritual realms which you might not have done before. And when this happens, that's when, like, the siddhis or the powers that I have spoken about, they come about. Sometimes you have clairvoyance, you will suddenly know things, you know it. And you might have claircognizance, or you have clairsentience, you feel things. Or you hear things, you hear like bell, or something like a loud tee sound or something like that. And sometimes you get visions, when either you're meditating, or you're just in a very relaxed state, or you're having a shower or something like that. Some movie kind of a thing will play in your mind, and then that will actually happen as a reality. Or you just get hints. So the entire universe starts talking to you. Sometimes you might even have a question in your mind, and you might see the answer somewhere totally random, like on a tea packet or something like that. It's like random things can happen. Or you're asking a question over, or you're thinking about something, like buying something, and suddenly you get a coupon for something of what you want to buy. So the universe talks to you in this way, and that starts happening when you have actually ascended above your ego. Because forgiveness is really a quality of the divine. Because God always forgives. And the karma that happens is a law of the universe. So it's a law, the law is the law. So it is going to take place. But it's not God. God always forgives, because God is only made in love and light. And love always forgives. So so once you actually try forgiveness, of course we can't forgive as much as God can forgive, but or the universe forgives, or creation forgives. But we can try a little bit. And when you try it, suddenly you open up all these realms, because you have now ascended off your ego a little bit. And I'm not saying constantly, because we go back in our ego, then we come up again, we come into our heart center, we come into forgiveness, etc. So when you have ascended it, you actually can reach out into realms which you could not before. And that's when all these experiences start happening. Now the thing also is, if you're watching this video, uh, I hope you're not doing it only for the experiences, because then they won't happen. Like, if you really want just some power or just some experience, so that you can talk about it or write about it, or like attach it to your ego and then discuss it, it probably will not happen. Because that's how the universe is. It actually happens to people who have transcended their ego. So a lot of time in our ego minds, we want to have this experience because we have heard people talking about it, or we feel like, it doesn't happen to me, how come it happens to you? So understand that all of this again comes from the ego, because I want to experience that. So the I is still there. So these experiences, they really happen when you are very much away from the I. And it's not on cue that they happen. They just happen when you are aligned, when you are away from your ego, when you are in a vibration of love and acceptance and surrender, that's when these experiences happen. And at least for me, I cannot plan them and have them, they just have happened whenever they have. So yeah, that's what I feel like. It is a magical experience, and it happens like magic, and you can try to analyze it afterwards, that when did it happen and why did it happen. And this is my analysis: it happens when you have really detached from your ego, and it happens when it has to happen. If you are really like bent after it, that I want to have an experience, and that's why I will just forgive, but you don't feel it in your heart, you're just doing it for the sake of being the bigger person, or showing off that, oh, I'm this very spiritual person who's forgiving everyone, and I'm over it. So when that I comes, when it's again you playing a role, then it probably is not going to happen. It happens when the forgiveness and the gratitude is really felt. It's felt inside your being. That's when you might turn on that magic switch. So yeah, so this is what I had in this video. This is how some people find divine grace, divine timing, just a connection with the divine after narcissistic abuse. And the two ways I can think of going about it are practicing gratitude and practicing forgiveness. And then again, these way, like the powers that come, or this connection that comes with the universe, it's a gift. Treat it like a gift. Really be grateful for it. Be really thankful for it, because it's kind of like, if you have a kid and the kid really acts well, one day he or she goes out and helps someone, or just something they do out of kindness, when, or maybe they have like one candy in their hand, and they see another kid crying, and they go and they give their candy to that kid, and you see, as a parent or an adult, you see that behavior in them, of just this sort of innocent kindness. You as a parent or an adult feel so elated by it that you want to give them a gift. Maybe you give them another candy, or you give them something like a hug or a kiss or something like that. You give them a gift. So it's the same way. It's like we are the child, and something bad has happened to us, or something, it's a bad situation, and we have like passed the test. In that situation, we have come out of that situation with flying colors, with transmuting something bad into something good. And on seeing that, the divine or the creator or whoever it is that's running this show, they feel a similar kind of sentiment of how you would feel for a child who did something good. And that's when these magical experiences suddenly shake up your world, because it's a gift from creation. And in Christianity, it's called grace, because it happens once in a while. It's serendipity. It's like feeling lucky, or something very magical happening to you. So yeah, that's how I see it. And I hope this helps you. And if you guys have experienced similar things, or if you try this out and experience similar things, please do let me know in your comments down below. And as always, I am so thankful to all of you for subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting on this channel. And I wish you all a very happy Diwali, and I wish you all a lot of love and a lot of light. Thank you. Bye.